Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Danny Burke from Odd Shopper here to give you some recommendations for anytime touchdown prop bets as we head into NFL Week 8. We're coming off a stellar performance last Sunday on the main slate. We swept the board 4-0. We came home with Tank Bigsby overseas, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aaron Jones, and then Joe Mixon. All we had left was J.K. Dobbins on Monday night. Unfortunately, did not get the 5-0 sweep. Dobbins did not get a touchdown. It was a really low-scoring, ugly affair between the Chargers and the Cardinals. But hey, we'll still take it, right? 4-1 on these plays. Hopefully, we can replicate that heading into this Sunday. And to get things started, well, we'll begin with the aforementioned J.K. Dobbins, who I believe is actually in even more of a favorable matchup against the New Orleans Saints in their upcoming game. And if you look right now on our live odds screen, J.K. Dobbins, you can get minus 120 at Hard Rock to score a touchdown in this matchup. I get it. It's laying a price. It's not pretty, but there's a reason why they're making you lay a little bit of vig here. The Saints, according to PFF, are the 31st ranked run defense. In fact, they've allowed 5 rushing touchdowns over the course of their last 3 games. They're tied with the Giants for allowing the most yards per carry to opposing tailbacks at 5.4. Their defensive interior has been abysmal, and it's getting worse and worse as the season progresses. Now, J.K. Dobbins didn't get any action in the red zone last week, but there really wasn't much action to be had. So if they can get it within the 10-yard line, we're going to see him be the main workhorse like we've seen in the past. So I like J.K. Dobbins here, even though you're laying a little bit of a price. This run defense is awful. The situation sets up perfectly for Dobbins, and hopefully he can get us back for not getting one last week. Not that it was his fault or anything, of course, but hey, this is the matchup to do so. So let's be rooting for J.K. Dobbins once again. The other running back that I'm going to be sweating out is another person who just devastated us in the past. And it was that game against the Raiders. They tried to do everything they could to get Javonte Williams a touch. Well, not everything they could, actually, because they gave Bo Nix a sneak at the 1-yard line. But Javonte finally got his group, right? He finally got into the end zone in his matchup against the aforementioned New Orleans Saints. I mean, it's really a good stepping stone for him, and no better team to face afterwards than the Carolina Panthers, who are allowing 2 rushing touchdowns per game to opposing tailbacks, most in the NFL. Javonte Williams leading handoffs inside the red zone. He's got 13 rushing attempts, and now the 2 rushing touchdowns from that last matchup against the Saints. He was the only running back to get the carries in the red zone as well in that game. 4 carries, 20 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, as I mentioned. Panthers ranked 30th according to PFF in terms of their run defense. They're 29th in both defensive rush EPA and success rate. And once opponents are getting into the red zone against the Panthers, they're allowing those opponents to score touchdown 70% of the time. I know the Broncos offense isn't the prettiest thing to watch, but hey, with Javonte Williams getting his mojo back and up against this terrible Panthers team, it's a great opportunity for him to get another touchdown and to keep that hot streak going. I don't even know if it's a hot streak. It's not a streak. It's only 2, but hey, he can make it into a streak if he gets one. Right now, you're seeing Circa with the best price, plus 105. Love that we're getting a little bit of plus money here. Think that's a good look with Javonte Williams to find 6 yet again. All right, let's turn over to the wide receivers. Now, this may or may not seem like kind of a obvious option, but look, we're getting 2-1 at Caesars for Jackson Smith-Njigba to score a touchdown. DK Metcalf, as the time I'm recording this, he's doubtful for this game. And even if he was playing, Jackson Smith-Njigba is tied with Tyler Lockett for the most red zone targets. I think they're both at 7, and you look at the Bills, they've given up 4 receiving touchdowns through their last 3 weeks. I talk about PFF's expected touchdowns. Smith-Njigba has 1 on the year, but his expected is over 3, actually. And this is expected to be a higher scoring game as well, right? So there's going to be plenty of action. You have a quarterback in Geno Smith who's throwing the ball 40 times a game. Jackson has been a highlighted target for him in the red zone. Without DK Metcalf, that's going to be amplified even more. Let's look to take advantage of that price at 2-1 and bank on Jackson Smith-Njigba getting a touchdown against the Buffalo Bills. Final play here. Now, again, I'm sorry, we have 2 more. I'm getting ahead of myself here, folks. We got 2 more to go. David Njoku plus 320. All right, now hear me out on this one. And look, anytime we can get a price around plus 320, it's worth hearing the conversation, right? But there actually is data to back it up that it should be shorter than that. I mean, look, plus 320 at FanDuel, you see Pinnacle regarded as a sharp book, plus 263. Other books, Bet Rivers plus 170, DraftKings plus 230. So we're getting a good bargain here at FanDuel for David Njoku to score a touchdown. Ravens have been pretty susceptible against opposing tight ends, giving up over 6 receptions for 77 receiving yards to opposing tight ends per game. They haven't given up a touchdown to opposing tight ends, but this could very well be the spot that they do. And remember, the Browns don't have Amari Cooper. That eliminates a red zone threat. Last week, Njoku was a top target, and we did see Winston come in the game for a little bit of action, and hey, he was showing some love for Njoku, and we know this offense is going to be better with Jameis Winston under center. Last week, Njoku, 10 receptions, 14 freaking targets, 76 yards, and a touchdown, led the team in targets, and he had 3 targets in the red zone. No receiver had more than 1 last week. Njoku should be the guy once again, and we shouldn't be getting as good of a price as we are. So let's go ahead and capitalize on that. Let's take David Njoku plus 320 for an anytime touchdown bet. Here's the final play that we have. Sorry for getting ahead of myself. A.J. Brown. Little bit of a plus price here, yet again at FanDuel, plus 140 for the star receiver on the Philadelphia Eagles. Cincinnati's given up over 1.5 receiving touchdowns per game. And A.J. Brown's played in 3 games. He's gotten a receiving touchdown in each of them. And like I said last week, no, that's not a basis of our handicap, but it's nice to see that he's getting this attention, as he should. Obviously, great receiver, wide receiver 1. Oddly enough, none of them have happened within the red zone. They've all been outside of it. Javonte Smith has actually gotten more targets in the red zone. But this is getting a little bit back to normalcy for this Eagles team in terms of these guys being healthy. And Cincinnati's been liable against these top opposing wide receivers. A lot of them have gotten a touchdown. I think the same occurs here in what should be a higher scoring game. Again, like the Seahawks Bills one, even more so for this matchup. There's going to be plenty of scoring opportunities. A.J. Brown is going to be that top tier target, as he usually is. And yeah, 48's where that total's at. So you're going to be getting points somewhere. Why not have it be coming via your top receiver and one of the best in the league in A.J. Brown at the price of plus 140. So let's look for him to keep that streak going, extend it to 4. I didn't hate the idea of looking at Devontae Smith, but a little bit more reliable, I believe, with A.J. Brown in this specific matchup. So let's go ahead and count that as our final play for an anytime touchdown prop bet recommendation in NFL Week 8. Before we go, though, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about the deal I got going on. Your first week or month, 50% off. Use code BURK50 with the NBA starting. It has been amazing. Great stuff going on with everybody right now. Make sure you check it out at OddsShopper. Promo code BURK50. A lot of fun things happening. Want you to join along. And yeah, we got some awesome stuff to look forward to, especially in NFL Week 8. So that's going to do it. Best of luck, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you follow along on Twitter at DannyBurke5. Let me know what you're sweating down in the comments. We'll talk to you again next week. Take care.